I used to have narcissistic traits starting very early in my childhood. My mother saw herself in me. I was in a family system of narcissists where emotional distance, control, and narcissism was normalized. I was born sensitive, intuitive, expressive, and vulnerable. But all those traits were punished. I would be punished for emotional truth. So I adapted very young and I started to develop narcissistic traits. My curiosity became boundary pushing. My confidence turned into dominance at times. I would be very bossy. And sometimes my assertiveness became control. Not because I was bad. I was trying to mirror what got love and power. I was copying what was being modeled to me. I was never a true narcissist, but I was adapting. When I was younger, I was very sassy, charming, witty, had power, beauty, and confidence. My mom really enjoyed all of that, even bragged on me. It made her feel very proud, and it made her feel in control. I was the extension of her. When my mom was a kid, she was also a mean girl. Sisters would tell me how she would be mean and boundary pushing and mischievous. So it's generational. When I was younger, I had control over everybody around me, to my friends and boys. It wasn't about dominance. It was about trying to feel significant and safe and in control, where I felt very powerless. I grew up in a chaotic and abusive environment. Control was my armor. So if I'm not in control, I'm going to get hurt. I don't take the power, someone will take it from me. If I'm not calling the shots, I'm going to be abandoned or used. Might have came off like bossy or intense or manipulative at times, like it was my way or no way. But that was not the real me. The fact that I knew I could control people means I was smart, I could read people really well. I knew what people wanted, I knew what people wanted to hear. I knew how to play the role that they needed. I knew how to lead, how to push. But again, I was not a narcissist. It's just a hyper awareness that I had born into trauma. I had to know how people ticked. I always need to be one step ahead. I remember the first boyfriend that I got, when he would get emotional and like want me back, I'd be like laughing because of how much power and control I had. And I wasn't evil. I was in survival mode. I learned that emotion was weakness, power was safety, control was love on my terms. I didn't have the space to hold his feelings. Like, I felt powerful, like finally I'm the one in power. The moment I felt above it though, was just armor over my own abandonment wounds. Because I was never held when I cried. I was mocked. I was ignored. So when he cried because of me, it felt foreign. Maybe even like weak to me. Maybe I even felt disgusted because I was never allowed to break down like that. So that relationship, I let my guard down. I opened my heart to him because he showed me emotion and he hurt me really bad and he abused me. I started to trust for like the first time in my life, and that was impossible in my home growing up. I wasn't being manipulative anymore. I wasn't being dominant anymore. I was being real, open, and vulnerable with him. I got abuse and betrayal and manipulation in return. Just reinforced fear. Like if I show love, I'm going to get destroyed. If I stop playing the game, I lose. If I soften, I get hurt. So it told my nervous system, like, see, even when I show goodness, even when I'm good, even when I trust, I'm punished, right? I was finally just becoming me, and people around me couldn't handle that. My softness, my light, my sensitivity scared not only my boyfriend at the time, but like my family and my mom too. And instead of hardening my heart again, I chose to keep healing. I showed my mom that healing is possible, and my mom stayed the same mean girl. She never grew emotionally. I chose to keep crying. I chose to keep feeling. I became somebody that my mom is not. I chose to evolve. Not stuck in a mean girl phase. Not stuck in soft girl who gets hurt phase either. I'm in my healed woman phase, right? And there's a reason why I feel drawn to like fiery men, like very confident men, because I grew up with a grandiose stepdad who would show a lot of confidence. My mom, she wanted a mini her. She didn't want a whole Amanda. She didn't want me. She wanted a version of me that validated her, that echoed her pain, that repeated her same patterns, that stayed under her emotional thumb. And I never wanted to be like my mom though. Like I saw her marriage. I didn't want anything like her marriage because that it was hurting me. She was hurting me. He was hurting me. I didn't want to be anything like that. My mom never had strength, and I did not like that. Her resentment towards me, her hatred towards me, not even because of me. She doesn't hate me. My existence exposes her darkness, right? I had to detach from her projections. I started to cry. I started to feel bad. I started to love deeply, to feel deeply. I took accountability. And that's when my mom turned on me. Because in her world, all of that equals a weakness. To her, it's unsafe, that's unworthy, that's embarrassing. For me, softness was superpower. I did what she couldn't do. And who I am is something that she just can't control and compare or even compete with. My mom would constantly try to shrink me to feel big again. She started to question my goodness or like remind me of like my past when I wasn't that good. She'd gaslight me for being sensitive. You always think you're the victim, you're dramatic, like you're too sensitive, you're taking things the wrong way. I just began to outgrow my mom. I had more self-awareness, I had more depth, I had more emotional softness, more potential to be loved in a way she never has. I started to really outshine her. I outgrew every version of myself that my family tried to keep me trapped in. Mom would say things to me like, you were so mean when you were laughing at, your boyfriend's pain when you were 15. Like, I was 15 and I grew, and you could see how the tables turned, right? And I was the one that got hurt. And she'd be like, see, you let him do that. Like, you need to take your power back. Like, you used to be the one in power, remember? My mom was not comfortable with my pain as a teenager at all. She resented it. She hated seeing me broken, not from a place of like empathy. My brokenness, going through pain, my mom never went through. She never felt that. My mom survived her childhood, her upbringing by being emotionally detached and in control, dominant and performative and people pleasing. Like, she was never like truly authentic. My mom once had softness in her too, and it probably got stomped out of her. She became a mean girl. Mom couldn't sit with it. She couldn't support it. Mom wanted me so bad to get back to the version of myself that she wanted me to be, like a mini her. The one who plays the game and the one who wins and the one that's powerful. Not like, oh, Amanda, I'm so proud of you for becoming more kind and for healing and becoming more real and emotionally mature. Like, no, she never wanted that. She never wanted the best version of me. She saw herself in me until I healed. But like, she doesn't understand all that I did, all the pain I had to take to become this healed version of me, and I'll never get flowers for that. I became everything my mom could have been, but chose not to. I earned it. I walked through fire. I walked through trauma, betrayal, manipulation, pain, abuse, you name it. I came out with my soul. My mom stays guarded, stays distrustful, stays cold. She stays competitive inside because that's what power feels like to her. In her eyes, like, if I trust, I'll be hurt. I love, I'll be used. I soften, I lose control. Stayed armor, and she just kept projecting onto me. I let love in. I cracked wide open. I got hurt. Trusted again anyways. It takes guts. She built walls. I built courage. She has control. I surrendered. She competes. I connect. That's exactly why my mom turned on me. She couldn't handle my growth. Instead of celebrating me, she tried to tear me back down. My mom still tries to relate to the old version of me, because that old version of me fits her narrative. Sassy attitude, mean girl, lets her dismiss my growth and pretend that I'm still the problem. But she can't just see me as somebody evolved, sensitive and pure-hearted and like sweet and kind. Then she'd have to actually face how she treated me. If she can say Amanda's too much, it just makes her feel better so she doesn't have to look in the mirror. Her voice is strong, grounded, and clear. Wants to invalidate that. The version of me that was sassy because nobody saw my pain or cared, I gave her space to be heard. The girl with the attitude, she was defending herself. She was in a war she didn't ask to be born into. If my mom tries to drag me back down, that's her story. That's not mine. That's who I had to be to survive. Every time she tried to bring me down, it's like she's talking to unresolved self. She's not talking to me. This is where the grief comes in. I wanted my mom along this ride with me. I wanted her to heal with me. I wanted to bring her with me. I wanted her to wake up. I wanted her to soften. I wanted her to grow with me. I wanted her to have my back, especially after all the pain that I've been through. The pain she witnessed, all the pain she's been through. You just to have each other's backs in this life. I wanted her to see me, to connect with me. I tried with all my whole heart. Hurts in a way not everyone understands. I wasn't just her daughter. I was her mirror. Showed her what's possible. I wanted her, but if I have to heal without her, I will. I wish her peace and love.